Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the show at Rise Up Show with me, your host, the Queen Bee, Dani. How are you feeling? As we chat this morning to the devilishly handsome, the fabulously wonderful, the incredibly knowledgeable Mr. Fidel Hill. The morning man. Good morning. Jodie Sol. Good morning. Babna Reddy. Good morning. Elise Woodbine. Good morning. The devilishly handsome Ian Dixon. Good morning, sir.
Shut up, for f***'s sake. Jesus.
The fantastic Lizzie Jackson Barrett. Good morning. Josephine Sandra. Everybody. Good morning. Good morning, you lot. How are you doing? It is Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Why do I never know what day it is? Oh, hello. How are you lot doing? Are you all good? Welcome to the show, Rise Up Show with me, your host, Dani Wallace. How are you? I hope you are feeling good. Second day into the week. We are now into the third week. Is it the third week already? Go on. Is it the third week of March? I think it is. Either way, at the end of this week, I get keys to my house. I don't know if I've mentioned it or not. So this morning's been a bit of a funny one, actually. So Poppy goes to high school. She has to get 2 buses in order to get there. And she goes to the local girls' club. It's lovely. It's really nice. And I wake her up at 6:30 every morning, and all she's got to do, the only thing she has to do is roll out of bed, get a piece of toast, get dressed, and leave. That's all she has to do in the morning. This morning, did she do that? No, she didn't. I woke her up this morning, and I do this because I'm laid in bed at 6:30, and she's got her alarm clock that she always sleeps through, so I ring her instead. So I'm ringing her from my bed like she's in that bedroom there. So it's not even, I should just shout her, but I ring her instead because she just answers the phone like this, and I'm like, good morning. She's like, morning, Mum. Are you awake? Yeah. Right, get up. Which gives me another 10 or 15 minutes to come around and get up with her and all of that. Now this morning, I rang her 6:30. Morning, baby. Morning, how are you? Yeah, I'm all right. Get out of bed. Get dressed. Let's go. And then I accidentally fell asleep. She accidentally fell asleep. We both woke up at 7:30 when her bus should have been leaving. So we did that whole scrabbling around. I mean, it wasn't so bad. We were able to get her to school well on time and the other girls to school well on time. But it did allow me, so the silver lining in all this, it did allow me to get a posh coffee. So I got a posh coffee this morning. I played coffee roulette with you all. There are 2 possible things that happen when your girl has caffeine. One is that I become super duper super productive, or the other is that I completely fall to tits. I'm hoping it isn't the latter. But we are playing coffee roulette. Does anybody else play coffee roulette sometimes? It could be that we take over the world today. It could be we fall in a gibbering wreck on the floor. I'm open to playing that game. I'm a risky kind of gal. How are you doing? Let me know that you're watching along in the comments. Let me know what the weather is doing where you are in the world. This is a morning show. It feels right and proper and very British that we talk about the weather. So please tell me what the weather's doing where you are. We have a choice of 3. One is sunny. Is it nice and sunny where you are? It is not this morning here in Preston. For our global audience, that is in the northwest of England. We've got a rainy bee, which is what is most likely to be here in the UK. We've got our sunny bee, and we've also got our it's a bit shit. So tell me, please, what is the weather doing where you are in the world? If you are abroad, we will represent you underneath the compass there. I'm going to pop an it's a bit shit here for us. It's a bit cloudy. It's a bit grey, although I have driven past my house this morning. See, I could do all of these things, so I was actually out of the house. So yeah, all of the fences have come down from all the way around. It's very exciting. Sunny bee for us in the northeast. Nice. We've got a little Scotchy bee up there in the northeast. Let me know what the weather's doing where you are. We'll represent you accordingly on our shit weather board. Janelle Shadowbenny shared a memory from a year ago. When we first started, it's got to be the date within the next week. In fact, let's go back and check. If anybody wants to do that whilst we're on the show, you can do. If not, we'll go back and check today. It's a bit rainy in Norwich. Let's sort Norwich out. There you go. I think you're there. You all know my geography isn't the best. But it's almost a year to the date that the show Rise Up show has been going, that we have been doing this for a year almost. So it was a year, I think it was a year today, y'all. A year today that we were plunged into lockdown certainly for the UK, certainly for England. It was a year ago when we had the statement come from 10 Downing Street saying that we needed to stay indoors. It has been a bit of a crazy 12 months. I think we'll all agree. I think we've been talking about that the entire time. It's been unprecedented times. Lots of us have had to pivot. There are lots of words that have become buzzwords over the past 12 months. And it feels like now, and I know we started to feel this kind of in February. January was a bit dark. We got plunged into another lockdown. And then February, we started to kind of pick back up again. And I'm starting to feel that spring momentum. I hope some of you are feeling that too. Good times are around the corner. I am certain of that. I am absolutely certain. The good times that I know are definitely around the corner. The 22nd and 23rd of April is Be Inspired. So we're bridging the gap between what has been going on for the past 12 months to what the new normal is. And I know, I don't know about you, I don't want to wait until June for us to have a big old event. So I am bringing you from a TV studio on the 22nd and 23rd of April, the jewel in the IATQB crown, Be Inspired. 22 incredible speakers talking about all manner of things, from spiritual development, life development, personal development, looking at parenting, everything in between, business, life, and everything in between over the course of 2 days. And it's only £89 plus you can get the cost of your ticket back. I want you to keep an eye on your emails today and keep an eye in the hive. It is so exciting. It is going to be the biggest thing we have ever done as a community. The aim is that we get over 1,000 people watching, and the other aim is that we raise £10,000 for the Fly Anyway Foundation in readiness to take on the first of our business builders in May. Oh my God, so many exciting things. I don't know if you noticed, yesterday I was featured in Forbes magazine. What the F? I was in Forbes magazine yesterday for being ridiculous. Can you believe it? But I shared with the journalist that when I'm writing, I use these. I use proper builders ear defenders. And for those of you that followed me on my journey as I was writing I Am the Queen Bee last year, which is my book about self-sabotage, you can get it from Amazon, shameless plug. When I was doing that last year, I spent like 2 weeks. I won't put them on now because I've got these on. I spent 2 weeks with these on day and night because I needed to cancel out everything that was going on around me. So it was an article about focus. And I did say, I popped a picture onto the journal request that I was given the heads up from my incredible PR team at Chocolate PR. So holler to Joe Swan and Joe Maloney for letting me know about it. But yeah, so I posted a picture of me wearing these saying, yes, I look utterly ridiculous, but I actually wear industrial ear defenders when I am trying to get in the zone, when I'm trying to write. And it makes a massive difference. And yeah, I got quoted in Forbes magazine. If I'm going to be in Forbes magazine, I would rather it be for being utterly ridiculous, right? If it's going to be me, I'm going to do it that way. So that was a massive win yesterday. It's so weird. Like, everyone was getting in my inbox going, oh my God, this is huge. I'm like, I'm telling him about me ear defenders. I'm telling him that they just need to shut out noise in order to be able to focus. So I'm sure it is just a teaser into bigger Forbes articles. I've got no doubt in my mind. But what a way to start. Like, I'm here for it. I'm down for it and grateful. So without further ado, on that bombshell, so yeah, make sure you're getting your Be Inspired tickets if you haven't already. I am very excited. Later on today, we are dropping our brand new sales page for it. I cannot wait to share it with you. So keep your eyes in the hive, in the IATQB hive, which is my free community. Go and search it, go and join it. I am going to be dropping the sales page with loads of details about Be Inspired. So if you want to know more, keep your peepers peeled. We are dropping those bombs this week. So excited. Anyway, I've got a very special guest backstage. We have connected over the Instagram in the first instance. And it's one of those times, as with many of my guests, where I've met somebody online and they've gone, hey, Dani, I love your work. And then I go, do you know what? I love your work too. I like the cut of your jib. I think we're going to be friends. And this is exactly what has happened with me and our incredible guest, Vicky Price, this morning. Good morning, Vicky.
Good morning.
How are you? Thank you for joining me on the show. Rise Up Show.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you. And I just wanted to say, right, why did I not know about those headphones at the beginning of lockdown? Because I've been at home with 4 children, Peppa Pig on in the background. And those would have, that article needed to be out right at the beginning, broadcast to all parents everywhere.
Right. And sometimes I'd have to have a little sign on my back saying you've got to make sure that you've got to shout up or make I can't hear you. So the girls, I would be in the zone with these on and the girls would come in and they're like this. I got a clue. And no idea. It's bliss, absolute bliss. And then obviously if there was something really wrong, then they'll come and touch me and tap me and mummy me, so it's fine. But the arguing, I didn't have to listen to the arguing. I didn't have to listen to Wallace's snoring, because that is a whole situation that has occurred in the last 12 months. The snoring has become unbearable. So yeah, the industrial strength ear defenders have been an absolute lifesaver. So you're welcome for that piece of business information.
If I were you, I'd have an affiliate link in all of your link tree, because I think every parent in the country is going to be buying them.
If you want to buy them from Pretext, so Pretext, if you're watching, I am your girl, the poster girl for Pretext, for anybody who's not a builder right now. So Vicky, enough about me and being ridiculous. Tell us more about you. What is it that you do, my darling?
I'm still trying to find the perfect job title for what I do, but my business is creative communications, and I help people like yourself and other individuals and business owners communicate with, connect with, and grow their audience online. And I started off as a VA. Mm-hmm. There's a long story behind this.
You're here to talk about your story, like you can.
So I've always been in marketing. I used to work in London. I was in London for 22 years in marketing. Gave up to bring up some children, as some of us do, and wanted to get in the way. And then sort of had one already, and then had another, and then ended up with 5.
Just slipped and tripped and fell, and then 5 children later.
Yeah, never a big family. I wasn't one of those people who said, I always want a big family. It just happened, and yeah. And I wanted to sort of be at home whilst they were little. So given that there was every time I thought like, oh, now they're getting a bit bigger, I have another one. So it kept me at home for quite a long time. And then and I was doing bits of work for supporting my partner in his work, but I was focused on them mainly. And then the relationship broke up, as they do. And I found myself with 4 children, with no job, hadn't worked for a significant amount of years. And then we were renting a house in South London, and my landlady needed to sell. And we'd had really cheap rent for 14 years. Mm-hmm. So
and 14 years later, rent in London is not cheap.
Tripled. Where the house we were in across the road, they were renting it out, it tripled. There was no way we could stay in the area. So I've been kind of toying with the idea of coming back to my hometown for a number of years, which is Bristol. And it just seemed like a no-brainer at the time. My family's here. So then I had to I was like, shit, what do I do? I haven't worked. I felt, I think a lot of mothers feel this. Totally unemployable,
I'm completely unemployable now. Completely. I had some of the best jobs working within L&D, and realised that actually, even though I was never without a job, I was completely unemployable.
Yeah, it's like you feel. I just didn't know what to do. So luckily, I was working with this amazing coach at the time around something else in my life, and she really kind of worked with me to what are your skills? What can you do? What are you good at? What do you enjoy? And started off as a VA, but really literally within weeks, marketing kept creeping back in. And obviously, the online space and social media had grown and everything. And so very quickly, I moved to Bristol and I had to hit the floor running. There was no kind of, let's settle in. And I literally had to make it work straight away because it was just me and 4 kids. Right. And, you know, all the things I had to do, find a house, find schools, get them all into school, start networking. But really networking just straight away kicked it all off for me and started getting clients. And then what lockdown did was threw everyone online, as we know. And I kind of thought everyone's online anyway, but no, they weren't.
Right.
And there were like 3 waves of it over the last year. Yeah, I can't believe it's a year since this happened as well. And my business just grew over lockdown. And as I developed and saw what my clients need and saw what people need, I developed my business. So at the moment, I'm at the stage of rebranding. So I don't have a website because I'm rebranding. I need a photo shoot. There's lots of things that are sort of happening in the background, but I have to carry on working at the same time.
I think there's an interesting thing about, I had the idea, and many of us do, that when we set up a business, that we need all of the trappings of what makes a business official. So what I'm not saying is that you shouldn't have a really solid like suite of services and ways to help people and all of that, because confused people don't buy. If I just go, I'm a public speaking coach, but then don't share how you can work with me in that capacity, then no one's going to buy from me because they don't know, she's a public speaking coach. And then it's going to take a brave person to say, how do I work with you? Like, it's not that's not an easy way of flow. But as long as you've got like stuff that you help people with, everything else is almost a periphery. Like, yes, people do type into Google public speaking coaching or how do I make a TED talk or all these things. But actually, if you're growing your audience, you're doing things like this, Vicky, and you're allowing yourself to be present and you're growing, your social media has suddenly become like your website. It suddenly tells people, we were talking to Vicky Winter about this yesterday, Claire Winter, about this yesterday. Your social media actually becomes the first point of contact, where in the past 10 years, your website was. So you would go to a networking meeting. I would do the same, even with my singing business. And I would go and network and give my business card out. And then people would go and then scope my website out to go and see if it was legit. People don't check people out in that way really anymore when we're meeting in these spaces. They go and have a look on your Instagram, or they'll go and have a look on your LinkedIn, or they'll go and have a look on your Facebook. So having those things really solid, and you can do that for free, is a really solid way to allow yourself to step into the entrepreneurial arena. I think that having that website is great and it's an asset for sure, and getting that right and getting that done is important. But it's interesting, isn't it, how from a marketing point of view, how important really is the website?
Yeah, I think it's nowadays it's a space to hold all the things you do, and it needs to be simple. It doesn't need to be overcomplicated anymore. And I agree with you. I mean, it's not bothered me, it's not hindered me. Most of my work's come through referrals and networking, and I'm growing that online community and engagement, and through that people are starting to get interested. But it takes work. It definitely takes being present, like you said, putting yourself out there. It takes confidence. I mean, it's as a marketing person, I tend to leave my own marketing till last. It's
the cobbler's shoes, isn't it? The people that make the shoes have the worst shoes. Now you're not allowed shit shoes.
And so I'm talking to all my clients about, well, look, it's not going to work unless you engage. And then I'm not doing my own engagement. So I think halfway through this year, I went, okay, Vicky, come on, you've got to show how it can
walk the talk, haven't you? You've got to walk the talk.
So I had to really start doing that. But it's amazing when you do start doing that, the results you get, and not even, I don't really care about how many people follow me on Instagram. There's so much spam, there's so much rubbish going on there. But I like just having some really good accounts that I follow and who follow me, and being able to have those conversations are good for me.
Absolutely. And again, this is something like the kind of the website conversation. We get hung up on the followers. How many followers has this person got? What we want are engaged followers. What we want are people that come to your account and comment on stuff and say, hey, I really dig what you're saying. And then you can strike up conversations. If you're just posting meme after meme after meme, and then people are just liking and they're not actually engaging. And I'm only learning this now as I am growing. I mean, excuse me, conversely, like I'm looking to increase my followers so we get the swipe up, but it's very intentional. I don't just want the swipe up to feed my own business. I'd say you've got a website, you've got something that you're selling. I can say when people have been on the show, hey, swipe up to my girl Vicky, you can go and see how she does X, Y, and Z. So it's a massive tool for us. But if you don't do what I do, if you don't have a platform like this, people just go for the numbers. Oh, they've only got 94 followers. Well, what if all of those 94 people buy on a regular basis? Yeah,
exactly. And I think there's a real kind of FOMO thing going on, that if people seeing someone else with loads of followers on Instagram, it's like, oh, I need that. That's what equates to a successful Instagram account. But like you say, if it's full of people who have just got no interest.
Excuse me. They couldn't hold it.
Or driving or something. Maybe.
I don't.
I'm going to
sneeze. Do you get that? And I try to keep my eyes open, but then I remember when I was a kid, I heard that if you keep your eyes open when you sneeze, your eyeballs will pop out at 90 miles an hour, and I get frightened of keeping my
eyes. Get into slow lane, slow right down. Okay, now I can do it.
All right. I cross my legs at the same time as well, because otherwise I'll wee.
Which is great when driving.
Yeah. It's a mess. The whole sneezing situation is a mess. So back to being unemployable. These are reasons why I'm unemployable.
Yeah.
So yeah, having these engaged audiences are the important thing. Like, I know that this show has a reach of a few thousand every day. And I know there are some people, a handful of people who turn up every single day. And I'm turning up for all of them. But the people that engage are the people that, we love and we nurture. And they're the people that become your raving fans, and they go and tell people about you. And that's the really important thing. It's nurturing and loving on those people, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. And a part, I'm all about authenticity. And I know, again, there's a few buzzwords, integrity, authenticity, but actually I can't. This is partly why I was unemployable, because I could never play the game. I couldn't ever be what anyone needed me to be to get somewhere. I could only do it my way. I've never been able to, and even though I'm happy to now push myself outside of my comfort zone, which is absolutely essential when you're growing your own business and when you're working for yourself, it's still me. It's just more of me. I'm not pretending. I'm not sort of it's like I say to a lot of my clients, it's like, you don't have to be on Instagram dancing and pointing at words disappearing to get your message across, just because if there's a lot of other people, and if people are happy doing that, that's absolutely fine. Like, a lot of people think, oh, it's like, have I got to perform here? And you don't. There's other ways of doing it. And I really work with my clients to find those other ways where they're comfortable, which showcases them and their products and services, which isn't making them what they feel look absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, feel uncomfortable. And this is the thing, like Reels and me have this, I understand, like Reels and TikTok, I understand the potential that I have because I am ridiculous. But also there is something within me that feels really at odds with doing it, because the system is telling me that that's what I need to be doing. I have this like demand avoidance, like, don't tell me what to do. I want to share with my audience the way I want to share. I'm quite precious about doing things like this. And whilst, yes, I could go on and create Reels and it would be brilliant. And I know I'm going to have to, because it is the preferred method right now, the Instagram. So you're getting more traction, you get in front of more people. It absolutely works. But finding a way to do it in a way that works for you. So this whole kind of pointing and thing, it works. It absolutely does. But you've got to find ways to do it that really sit with you. So if we go back to networking for a second, because I'm a huge believer in your network is your net worth. Who you know and how you connect with them is runs in parallel with the success of your business. I 100% believe in this. When you actively invest, and even financially or just with your time, with growing your network, your trajectory is often on par with how you're expanding your network or the quality of your network. What tips would you have for somebody out there, Vicky, for people who are wanting to network but they're scared?
Yeah, well, I went into a networking room a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, and I'd never done it before in my life. And I just went in and I just breathed through it. Okay, you can do this. And I had done some personal development. I had done some stuff that pushed me outside my comfort zone. I tried different things, so I knew I had it in me. But just again, it's like everything in life, just do it. The fear is greater than the reality. You might bumble through your 1 minute round. I still do. I can never condense it into a minute. I still kind of go, oh.
We joke about this on Be Heard, which is my speaking program. We joke about this. We call it the Mexican wave of shit. It is, you're sat on a round table or in a room and you're literally just sat there shitting yourself, waiting to say something that you might not necessarily have prepared, and you start shaking, you start sweating, and you see everybody in the room feels exactly the same way, because what you're doing is you're positioning yourself as alpha in that moment, and you might not be ready. Like, I'm not ready to position myself as alpha. And you just see it's like a Mexican wave of shit, and everybody's just waiting for it to hit to have their go and then sit down and have it done. And then what people don't then listen to what's being said or get really hung up on what they're saying. If we have these things practiced, if we have these things rehearsed and we know that they're compelling and it feels like the first time every time it's that well rehearsed, then actually it doesn't have to be that scary, that particular bit, does it?
No. And it is, I mean, getting over that is, it's like you teach the tools for that. And but what I will say is you find a networking group, find one you like. It was nice when we were face to face, but obviously they're all online at the moment. They'll probably be a mix of two when we go back. And be consistent with it, because they become your team. They become your. I mean, I've met some amazing colleagues and friends through networking who I know are just there for me. They've got me through this last year. If I didn't have that support network, because running your business on your own is lonely. I'm a single mum on my own in a house with 4 children. I haven't seen my family for most of the year. I've been pretty cut off, but without having that network, knowing that they're there it's kept me going. And the mindset you need to get into as well to do it, constantly working on your mindset, constantly telling yourself you can do it, reading books, upskilling, courses, whatever it is you need to get your mind into that space of I can do this. I mean, when I started off, I have a 3-bedroom house I rent. My outgoings is, for 4 kids. As you know, you've got 3 kids, you've got a family of 5, as do I, and I'm one income coming in. It's a significant amount of money to earn.
Right. Yeah.
And I thought, am I mad? Am I just crazy?
The answer is probably yes, but it's the good kind of crazy. It's like it's the kind that allows us to think a little differently, that allows us to think outside the box. And I think when we embrace that, whether we call it crazy, whether we call it, we are the unicorns, we are different. We are in the 3% of the UK that take this avenue. That I don't think it's that we're crazy. I think it's that we're just allowing ourselves to be in a different way, in a more authentic way, right?
Yeah. And I love it. It drives me. It's absolutely, I'm so driven by it. And when I worked in my 9 to 5s, I told myself I had no ambition. Oh, I'm never going to make it. I won't get the promotion. I don't really have an ambition. I don't really care. And then, coming back into running my own business, totally different approach to it. And I realized that I wish I'd known that I could have done this years ago, but we know what we know when we do, and my past led me here now.
Yeah, exactly. And being grateful to all past led me here. Everything that's ever happened to me has led me sat here talking to you with my incredible show, moving into my incredible house, doing these fantastic things, even when things were really, really dark, remembering that you've got the choice to make things different, I think is really interesting. And the also interesting thing that you just said there, Vicky, is that you didn't think that you had any ambition. You didn't think that you wanted anything. I actually read something last week that really resonated with me, in that, and this happens to quite a number of people that I know, and this is not me saying, for those of you that are listening, that everybody should have massive ambition. Like, we're here once, and I think it's healthy to want to make an impact. That impact could be just bringing your kids up really well and to be good human beings, or it could be those things. But the people that often say that they don't really want anything, if they dig a little deeper, they will often find that it's a worthiness thing, or it's a fear or a trauma response to not want anything for themselves. If I look at my mum, if I look at, some people that I know who say, do you know what, I haven't got any ambition, and you dig a bit deeper, you realize that there is ambition there, but there's a fear response that is not allowing them to open that gate and peer inside and see what the possibilities are, because they might feel like it's going to be taken away from them. Or, we talk about this in terms of self-sabotage. We get fearful. So it's easier for us to tell ourselves, I've not really got any ambition. I don't really want to do much. I just want to kind of potter along. You may do, but you might want to create a beautiful garden and leave the environment in a better state. Or it's just understanding what drives you. I wonder what you lot are saying. What are you lot saying here? Who is this? I have to peep over. Vicky, hello. I've always been shy, but a company I've been working with needed to get their business out there and selling during the pandemic because it was too much of a faff. Put stuff on the website. I offered to host some Facebook Live events. They've been amazing for me and them. It's built my confidence so much. Who is this? I want to celebrate you. Congratulations. That's amazing. Amy Blaney. Do you know what? I just love saying your name. I have this fear with lives, but fear and excitement feel the same. So I'm trying to retrain my brain and say I'm excited about lives instead of shit scared of them. It comes from the same space. It's Nina Spencer. Hi, Nina. Sorry, my angel. If you go to the top in the title, you can give StreamYard permission for us to see your name and see your profile picture, so we can celebrate you properly because you've done incredible things. Congratulations to you, my darling. But it is confidence doesn't land in your lap magically one day, does it, Vicky?
No, it's constantly, you have to be aware, I think. You have to, so that was really interesting, that fear and excitement. When you're aware of of what's going on, you bring an awareness to it rather than react to it. It's like, okay, what's going on here? Like whenever I've got something coming up in me, some blocks or something that's holding me back, I go to work on them. And there's a variety of things I used to do that. And actually, so I was really scared. Like last year, I think it was in November, I said, right, 2021, I'm going to get visible. I wouldn't hardly ever post a photo of myself. I wouldn't do any video. I hadn't done any interviews. I set that goal. I worked on it. I worked on that fear. I spoke to my coach. I kind of got through it. And then in the first month of the year, I was on like BBC National News.
Just casually.
All day, one day, which was a very homeschooling and as a business owner. I was told it would be just for just breakfast news. I saw it. It was 6 a.m.
Casual breakfast news.
Yeah, I thought, no, that's all right. 6 a.m. No one's seen it. Something else happened in the day to make it newsworthy. It literally went on all day on every slot, and then was on the local news. And by the end of the day, it was quite overwhelming because I was getting loads of messages. But then I was on the local, and anyway, it's happened about 5 times over this lockdown, and then a couple of other things happened as well. And I was like, wow, I set that intention, and I think I wrote a blog. I think a friend published it on her website, and then it all happened from there. And so it's amazing what happens when you set the intention, push it, you see the fear, push through it, set the intention, take the action, and then it all starts happening. And it's
so interesting.
And then once you've done it once, it becomes less and less scary. It really does. I mean, I was nervous about coming on to chat to you yesterday, and then today I wasn't. I was like,
it's so funny. I always get really like not shocked, but always interested that people get nervous about coming on this show. And I know I've been doing this every day now, pretty much for a whole year. So I get it. I've been going live since you could press the live button. So it is definitely something I have got the shoes are worn in for me. But then I have to remember that it isn't the natural thing for everybody to do. That people do get nervous. Do you know, somebody said the other day, I want to approach Dani Wallace about going on a show, that I think she's scary. I was like, oh no.
Oh, you're not scary.
I was like, oh God, you've got me wrong, sister. You've got me wrong. Come and have a cup of tea with me. It's okay.
I think that's what made me feel okay. Was it's Dani Wallace, and I've seen your show, and it's like you said, it's like a chat. It's not formal.
I was
more. It's knowing it's live. It's knowing it's on a couple of channels. It's not knowing who's watching. It's that, and then it stays there. And I think that's it as well. It stays in that space for a long time.
Yeah.
When you do this, when you do a live or however you do it in the digital world, things stay around for a long time. And I think there's a fear of that some people get scared of as well. Because at the moment, all I can see is you. I mean, you've stood in front of audiences on the stage in front of
thousands
audiences, right? Yeah. That's scary. At the moment, all I'm seeing is me and you having a chat. I have no idea who else is watching.
And the interesting thing is that when you do those audiences, for anybody that that has had that experience of speaking on stage, that actually when you speak on those really big stage, you might as well just be speaking to one person because there is so many. You might as well just be speaking to one person after you've got the lights on. You can't see any bugger anyway. It's the reason why I'm in the field of helping people speak is because I always find that fascinating. Denise Fowler, what are you saying? We shall peep over. Constantly working on my confidence and have good days and bad. I've finally been able to give up the day job. Congratulations. That's amazing. On the 12th of February, after being in business for 20 months, not doing anything because I was scared. Not anymore, but still get those doubts. Those doubts don't go away, do they not, Viggs?
No, they don't. I mean, this whether it's kind of crisis of confidence, I used to call it, where I used to homeschool my children. Can you believe this?
Did you choose to do this?
So I put them into school. February 2019. It's the first time they'd been in. March, they're all back home again.
The universe is just saying, Vicky, you need to school these children.
But then I was having to follow someone else's curriculum, so it was really different. And it was not, and I was on my own. It was really, really. I can't believe we've done it for a year. It's quite emotional when I think about it. Like, wow, what I've just been through, and I wasn't very successful at homeschooling them. The older ones were okay, but the younger ones, it just wasn't going to happen. Not and run my own business at the same time.
No, and this is something that, again, that as a community, a lot of us have been leaning into. I would never profess to be, in inverted commas, a dead good mum, and that sounds awful. It doesn't mean that I don't love my children. It doesn't mean that I'm not a good mum. The best mum I can be for them, and they are loved and fed and clothed and all of that sort of stuff. But when it comes to the structure of homeschooling, I didn't have children to school them because I'm not clever enough to teach them. I can teach adults because they've done all of that, the basic stuff. But like maths, for example, that is well outside of somebody who's dyscalculic. It's a very, very difficult concept to try and absorb. And I was very lucky that this particular lockdown that I got my mum on hand. We was able to retire my mum from her job and bring her into the business to help manage everything, and help me spin all the plates. So yeah, it's been, but I've got like survivor's guilt because I was able for that point to say to my mum, please look after the kids because I can't.
Survivor's guilt, is that a thing now?
I feel like it is
survivor's guilt.
Yeah, because
you managed it.
Yeah, for those who survived it, and there was this guilt for the whole of from March all the way through till September. There was a whole fat lot of nothing going on and a fat lot of screen time that was happening. And I just had to remember, as many of us will have had to remember, is that this is not normal what is happening, and it's tiring and it's exhausting. I think that's why in January, I don't know if you felt like this in January, Vicky, but God, we were tired. Everybody in the community was tired. Everybody I came across, I'd stopped responding to my friends because I was so tired and sad of saying, I miss you, I want to see you. It was just the same conversations being had all the time. And the world just felt like it was getting smaller and smaller, whereas now it's starting to be a little bit more expansive and a little bit bigger. And I'm a bit more excited about heading on the other side of it. What about you?
Yeah, totally. It felt, I think the beginning of this year, going into that lockdown, I literally burst into tears when I heard
it was a fresh kind of hell.
Yeah.
It was another fresh kind of hell.
We had hope in March because it was spring. It was new. We didn't know how long it would go on for. It was unknown. The sun
almost
was
novel.
We were on the way up in May, whereas in the darks of post-Christmas, January, winter, having the kids at home again when I was so busy with my work, was like a big slap in the face, and it really put me down. It's taken a lot this last couple of months to stay on top of it.
Yeah, and I think that just let us know in the comments if you felt that too, and if you feel like that hope. Like I was saying on Monday about walking past the park the other day, and the crocuses were coming up and the snowdrops were coming up, and for me that's really indicative of when I start to feel better anyway. And it just felt like, oh, now we're getting into it now. Like, I'm excited about being inspired. That's coming up in a few weeks. We've got all of these things. It's exciting. 21st of January, it's gonna get weird. I'm gonna hug everybody, as long as it's consensual.
When is it? June
25th. Girl, 21st of June. It's marked in my diary with a big X. Like, I'm flying out that door, hugging the first person with their arms open to me. I can't wait. But yeah, there is so much to look forward to. Do tell us, Vicky, what have you got coming up that you're looking forward to?
Wow, I'm working so hard on my business at the moment. I'm working with a great, amazing business coach. I've just gone into a 9-month mastermind program to really scale up and grow and offer those services. So I work one-to-one with people on. I do a lot of strategy. I do a lot of kind of power hours, but I'm just going to extend that into 3 months now. Because I find I overwhelm people if I give.
We try and give everything we've got in an hour, and then our poor clients are held on for dear life going, fucking hell, what do I do with all that?
They want to run in the other direction. And they get really inspired and by seeing the possibilities in their business, and then they want to run in the other direction. So I'm like, okay, I need to spread this out over 3 months, and I need to sort of support them, check back in, bit of accountability. So there's that. And I'm about to launch with a lovely, lovely colleague, the Content Club, which is because the content pain. What do I put out every day? What do I do for my reel? What's IGTV? How do I communicate with my group? Does anyone even read any of this stuff? And so we're really seeing that there's a lot of people who just need support in getting their content out there and coming up with ideas. So we're about to launch that. That's for coaches and health practitioners, because both of us work in that field quite a lot. And also, when you don't have like a tangible product to hold or see, it's sometimes quite hard to know. It's a lot of conceptual stuff. It's quite hard to know what to put out there. So we've got that coming up. I'm also growing. I'm a single mom and in business, and I was felt a little bit out on a limb, like, where are the other single moms in business? Because I turn up to networking meetings, and a lot of the women there have got older children, or they're in couples, and they've got husbands, and I was feeling like, how do I've got my hours like this and my income's like this, it's like what has to, my outgoings, and it's like, how do I make this work when I'm doing everything, mum, dad, cleaner,
all of it,
taxi driver, everything. So I've got a Facebook group, which I'm just growing. It's in the early stages, and it's just about connection, really, for single mums who are in business, who just want to feel that I'm not on my own here. I'm not crazy. I'm not mad. We have different issues that we deal with, and it's about kind of sharing all that and whatever's going on.
And having been a single mum for quite a lengthy period of time as well, it is absolutely necessary, because when the world is getting on with itself and you're on your own trying to do all these things that spin on your plates, like, especially I don't know about you, but that hour just after bedtime, I never really knew what to do with myself.
There's so much.
So there's so much. I just didn't do any of it. I still do. I do the bits that I enjoy, and then now I'm in a really blessed position where I can get someone in to do it, or tell one of the kids to do it, one or the other. But there is that time where, how do you connect again? How do you network in that way with people that understand you as well? I think being a single parent is a whole different skill. It's like when you become a parent for the first time, you experience a tiredness that you've never experienced before. You experience love in a way you've never experienced before. And similarly, when you're a single parent, I think one of the interesting things that when you move from single parenthood into being in a relationship, you tend to almost sabotage relationships, because you're used to doing everything on your own, and you keep so tight hold of everything. So being able to share what those struggles are, can really help you grow. So thank you so much for providing an incredible space like that for single parents. I think it's just phenomenal and wonderful. How do we hang out with you, Vicky Price? Tell us.
I've got, so my Instagram, I'm mainly on Instagram. It's my favourite platform to use. So it's the Entrepreneurial Single Mom, which I spell the entrepreneur wrong every time I put it into a search engine, or anytime I type it. I'm like, why have I created this name? And my Facebook group is the Entrepreneurial Single Mom, and I'm Vicky Price on Facebook, and I'm on Linktree as, I think I might be Victoria on Linktree, a bit more professional, a bit posh.
She's showing up for the corporate market with a full name.
I may have changed it back. I can't, because someone's going, is that you? I'm like, all right, I'm giving up. I'll be Vicky.
That's it. It feels very strange, even when my full name's Daniela, and when people call me Daniela now, I always feel like I'm in trouble. So it's just Dani across the board.
I think consistency, right? I mean, that's what I tell people in marketing. And then I've got my name as Victoria and Vicky. I'm like, okay, I need to be consistent here.
Let's
Vicky
get it right.
With an I, by the way, as well. It's very important. Not with an I.
And a CK or 2 Ks, or there's loads of different ways.
The traditional way of spelling it. VICKY.
Perfect. So my angels, go and check our girl Vicky out across on the Instagram. Vicky, thank you so much for joining me this morning. It's been a pleasure to get to know you a little bit better.
It's been really, really lovely. Love talking to you.
All right, stay in touch. It won't be the last time we speak. Of that, I have no doubt. Vicky Price, everybody.
Bye.
Do you know what I did? I left the studio when I didn't take Vicky out. She's gone, but it's okay. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining us this morning. I was awkward. I hope you enjoyed that conversation. We always have some phenomenal guests. Once again, this is a shout out for any of the members of our community, anybody that stumbles across this. We are looking specifically for and give preference to our siblings of colour, our members of the LGBTQ plus community, and members of the disabled community. Please do come and apply to be on the show. We want to be as representative as possible. We want to be as diverse as possible. We are reaching out. We want to share the mic, my angels, with as many of you as possible. If you've got an incredible business to share, something exciting coming up, if you've got an inspirational story, please do get in touch and we will hit you up with a link to come and be a guest on the show at Rise Up Show. Make sure you keep your peepers peeled for the sales page coming for Be Inspired, the ticket link. It is phenomenal. We have been doing some work with the most amazing copywriter. We've been working like this for the past week. So we've not just got a ticket link anymore. We've got all of the details you could possibly need to get you excited about Be Inspired on the 22nd and 23rd of April. Make sure you get your tickets. They're only £89 for 2 days of, honestly, fire. 2 days of complete fire, an absolute bargain. It is ridiculous. And also we're going to be raising, hopefully, fingers crossed, around £10,000, all going well, for the Flying Away Foundation as well. So if you do want to know more about Be Inspired tickets, put tickets in the comments. We will hook you up. In the meantime, go and join the IATQB Hive, or go and follow me on Instagram at the Queen Bee Dani. Have an incredible day. I will see you tomorrow at 9:30 for the short Rise Up Show. Ciao.